Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining this webinar on the poultry industry and poultry technology. I'm Delinia Erasmus, the editor of Farmers Weekly. I'm going to be managing the program today. Before we get started, I'm just going to introduce Charmaine Hershowitz and Moti Patriano. They are from the Israeli Foreign Trade Office and Export Institute, who organized this webinar. And they are just going to give some quick opening introductions and also talk a bit about the Export Institute and what they do. Over to you, Charmaine.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Israel Poultry Tech webinar. We're delighted to have you on board. We're delighted to have our partners. Thank you, Danine at Farmers Weekly, and from the Export Institute, the head of Agri, Moti Patriana. A little bit about the Israel Trade Office to South Africa. Our mandate is to promote trade from Israel to South Africa. Israel being the high-tech trailblazer nation, we operate in all sectors. We promote all sectors from mining, education, life sciences, agri-tech. We do this via requests received from Israeli companies, and we match them with relevant South African companies. In the good old days, we would host exhibitions and seminars and have face-to-face B2B meetings. We now do the same, but virtually. And we also do scouting processes for companies. If they want certain tech in Israel, we match them with relevant companies. I'm hoping you're going to enjoy today and gain a lot of knowledge and insight. If you'd like to reach out to us in the future for further information or knowledge about companies, I'll write our Johannesburg email in the chat box. Thank you. Enjoy. Over to Moti to say a few words.
Thank you, Charmaine. Thank you, Danine. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Moti Patriano, and I'm the manager of the agro-technology sector at the Israel Export Institute. We are a non-profit organization dedicated to help Israeli companies with business opportunity worldwide. So there are more than 450 Israeli agro-technology companies, and today you will meet the best that Israel has to offer in the poultry field. So in 2020, Israel exported goods and technology in the amount of around 112 billion US dollars, when the export in agro-technology was around 6 billion US dollars. Unfortunately, less than 1% of that was to South Africa. So there is a lot of room to progress and to strengthen the trade relations between those two countries in the field of agriculture. So as you probably all know, according to many reports, not far today that global food production must increase by 70%. It means that we have to be more creative and to be able to adapt new solutions in order to cope with the challenges. Even though a big part of Israel considered as a semi-desert, Israel is well known with its agricultural expertise, mostly because of our know-how that leads to many new innovative solutions. So Israel is in the size of New Jersey with a population of a bit more than 9 million. So how it can be that Israel is at the forefront of agricultural development worldwide? So I would say there are four main reasons. First and foremost, Israel invests a lot of money in R&D. We are ranked first in many aspects related to that. Second, we have large pool of experience, highly educated workforce. Because we live in a tough neighborhood, so we need to rely on ourselves. The third reason, in my opinion, is that many companies with cutting-edge technology from different markets now targeting the agriculture market. And last but not least is our culture. We are always trying to think outside of the box, and we are not afraid from failures. So those are the reasons that, in my opinion, led Israel to be ranked among the top 5 countries in the world in the field of innovative developments in agri-food. I would like to thank Ms. Charmaine Hershowitz, my colleague from the Economic and Trade Mission to South Africa, and to Ms. Danine Erasmus from Farmers Weekly for our collaboration that made this event possible. I hope that today is only the beginning of a fruitful relationship between you and the Israeli companies that you will meet in a few minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Moti. Charmaine.
Thank you.
Okay, so over to today's program. So as I said, the webinar today focuses on new technology in the poultry industry, and Farmers Weekly is really happy to partner with Israel's Foreign Trade Office to host this. We have 4 companies who will be giving presentations today, and all of the products that will be discussed offer solutions to some of the biggest challenges facing the poultry industry today. Broiler and egg producers have to deal with issues such as biosecurity, cost pressures, environmental concerns, as well as public perception and the demand from consumers for ethically produced products that are also affordable. So the critical role that biosecurity plays in poultry production has been highlighted in the recent past by global outbreaks of diseases such as avian influenza. And over the last 2 weeks, we have heard of 2 outbreaks here in South Africa, which has already led to the culling of thousands of birds due to the spread of this disease on 2 farms in South Africa. Producers here in our country and also in the rest of the world also face sharp increases in feed prices this year. And this is due to the global grain prices, which is putting extra cost pressure on farming. And this is compounding the need for producers to increase efficiencies in their businesses. And then also, as I said, some of the technologies that we're going to talk about looks at those environmental and ethical matters that producers have to contend with, including wastage on both ends of the production chain. So that is both on the input side and then also in terms of waste management at the other end of the production cycle. So you can look forward to hearing about some innovations that can help address these challenges as we hear from our presenters. And so just quickly, the plan for the next hour or so. The program will be that we will first go through the presentations of the 4 companies. Each one has about a 15-minute time slot in which they will give you their presentations and introduce their technologies and their companies. If there's time in this 15-minute time slot, we will take some questions during that time. If you've got any questions about any specific presentations, you can just post your questions in the Q&A or the chat function. At the end of the last presentation, so after the 4th presentation, we've got another session for questions and answers. So you will then again have an opportunity to ask any follow-up questions from any of the presenters. All right, so that's, I think, all we need to know to get started. So let's go straight over to our first presenter today. It's Ben Giver, who is the Development Business Associate at the company SOOS. This company has devised an incubation system, which is used to alter sex development process in poultry embryos. And it's a very exciting, very groundbreaking technology that I'm certainly keen to hear more about. Before Ben will start giving his presentation, we are going to watch a short video presentation that gives some more background information about this technology and the system.
We are SOOS Technology. We are developing a solution to the biggest challenge the egg production industry has today, male chick culling. Our technology uses sound waves to transform male chicks into functional female layers that can lay eggs. Our solution will save billions of male chicks from extermination every year. Please join us in improving the animal welfare, productivity, and sustainability of the egg production industry.
Thanks for that quick video, Ben. And over to you if you would like to start with your presentation.
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Nice to meet you. Like they've presented, my name is Ben Geva. I'm a Business Development Associate at SOOS Technology. So you've seen the video, but I'll go a little bit deeper. So SOOS Technology is an Israeli startup developing sex reversal technology for the egg-laying industry. As you can see here, there are many chicks. All of these are female chicks that have had brothers that were killed right after hatching. So why do we need to save the male chicks? Well, unfortunately, the male chicks can't lay eggs and they can't grow enough meat to be used for the broiler industry, which is the meat industry, as these are separate breeds used for each function. And just like humans, they're born 50-50. So we're talking about 7.5 billion males that are exterminated every year just after hatching. And other than the very obvious animal welfare implication, there's a lot of public and regulatory pressure, including countries such as Germany and France wanting to ban the practice of killing the male chicks. And we also have many global supermarket chains such as Aldi and Tesco wanting to stop selling male chick culling brands and only use non-killing brands. And there's obviously the financial implication. Imagine to yourself a factory that throws away 50% of its raw material. And we're talking about an industry of $220 billion. So sex determination in birds might sound like magic or science fiction, but this is actually a quite natural process. It's something that's very common in nature in less complex organisms such as reptiles and fish. And here we're talking about a very early embryonic development, and we know of one gene that's responsible for the sexual development, and we believe that that is the one that the sound is affecting. So really, how do we do this? We do this by producing more females with the same resources that the industry has. Our solution includes the transmission of sound, humidity, and temperature. But the sound is the most important aspect of the sexual reversal process. So like I said, our technology includes a sensor system that is able to collect data on all these aspects of our protocol, including the sound, temperature, and humidity on a per egg level, and have the capability to view the transmitted signal on a spectrum. Our acoustic transmission is currently through surround sound, as you can see in the picture here on the bottom left, using speakers on the walls of the incubation cell. But we are moving to a smart tray system that will use vibration to better control the sound. And we have our software system, the SOOS Technology, which collects and analyzes all the hatching data needed for our protocol. So the benefit for our solution is very large. We can take here a typical hatchery that incubates 10 million eggs each year with 4 million females hatched. And why is it 4 million? Because there's roughly a 20% mark of eggs that are not hatched due to undeveloped embryos and eggs that just weren't fertilized. So we can see here at 50%, which is the status quo of the industry, a typical hatchery could have a margin of 20%. And using our system at 60%, which is what we have today in our laboratory, in our industrial scale, we can get already to 32%. And once going to 80%, which is what we achieved in our laboratory tests, we can already achieve 46% margins, which is somewhat similar to companies such as Microsoft. And we're very excited to get to this point. Our business model is PPC, just like Google, but we aren't doing pay-per-click, we are doing pay-per-chick. We're only going to charge our clients for every additional female above the 50%. That way, we're only charging for the added benefit. And this benefit is roughly $2 for every female we can convert to, from every male we can convert to female. This is $50 saved on extermination and burial costs, and an additional $1.50 for the price of the female chicks. And we plan on charging a percentage of this added value. The market's opportunity is very substantial. We're talking about a global number of 7.5 billion male chicks killed every year. And like I said, the $2 mark, which means our addressable market is $15 billion. The South African poultry industry has roughly 29 million laying hens in the national flock at any one time. We have roughly 25 million male chicks culled annually. And the cost of eggs is roughly $2 or 28 South African Rand per dozen. And we know that the country has a lot of food security and nutritional security issues. And we believe that our solution will also lower the cost of eggs for the consumers and provide a very important protein source for the South African population. Our competition includes many companies that are working on sex identification. They're trying to look what's inside the egg and try to identify the male embryos prior to hatching and disposing of these eggs. To the best of our knowledge, we're the only company in the world doing sex reversal and actually affecting what's inside the egg instead of what's looking inside it. Most of our competition have invasive procedures. Many of them do GMO and different types of genetic or hormonal modification. And we're the only solution that's also providing a solution for the profit loss in the industry because we're not getting rid of any product. So we believe that we'll be the viral solution to the industry. Traction, the company was founded 4 years ago in the beginning of 2017. Right away, we understood the importance of having our own site and not being dependent on third parties. So we opened our first site in Israel, including 3 incubators, a pullet house and a layer house. In laboratory experiments, we got to 80% females in incubators of 70 to 80 eggs. Scaling up to an industrial scale of 4,800 eggs, we get to 60% female eggs in repeated experiments. We've also grown 1,500 affected females in 2 different cycles of 700 and 800 females, and we conducted the experiments in comparison to a control group of 20,000 layers. The test group has laid eggs, the same mortality rate, size of eggs, number of eggs, identical to the control group. So we're very confident that there shouldn't be any issues implementing our system. We've even received maximum trays of 75%, which are trays in the incubation system that have gone to 75% above the 60% in the overall incubation. We had our first pilot secured and actually started 2 weeks ago in Italy. We're very excited about that. And in November of 2020, we won the grand prize of $1 million of the Grow New York Food and Ag competition. And we will be starting our New York and US operations very soon. So a little bit about our roadmap going forward. We're at the very end towards securing our Series A of $7 million. We're very excited about that. This will help us establish 10 more pilots and increase our US traction. And regarding our product, we'll have fully monitored experiments and uniform our SAM transmission, which is one of the most important parameters for our protocol. In next year, we plan on stabilizing a protocol from end to end and converting our pilots to paying customers, which will be our first stream of revenue. And in 2023, we believe we'll be able to already achieve 75% plus females and have an incubator agnostic product that will be available to anyone in the industry, and that our revenue will exceed $4 million. Our team, Yael Alter, the CEO and co-founder of SOOS Technology. She has 20 years experience as CEO and VP in various agricultural and poultry companies. Oren Solomon, he has over 25 years experience in poultry operations and is one of Israel's leading layer growers. Dr. Rotem Kadir, a molecular biologist with a doctorate, and he used to be a former project manager in SuperMeat as our chief scientist. Dr. Jan Valenchik, our chief data officer with expertise in machine learning. Alan Sadan, our CTO, he's an ex-A200 officer, one of Israel's IDF's elite intelligence units. He has over 10 years of software and hardware development experience in project management. And Alon Goslan, our VP of Business Development, over 10 years of experience in M&A, finance strategy, and fundraising. And like I said, my name is Ben. I'm a Business Development Associate, and it was very nice meeting you all. Thank you very much.
Ben, thank you very much for that. That's you're quite right. It does sound a bit like science fiction when you hear about the technology for the first time. So just one question for me, maybe if we've maybe got time for 1 or 2 more. Can you just give like a rough idea of by when you think will this technology be available commercially in South Africa?
Yeah, sure. We believe our product will be available within the next 18 months to 24 months. The reason that this might take a little time is because there's so much data involved to improve our protocol, and we need to conduct the pilots due to hatching cycles being 21 days, including the analysis of the data and cleaning and calibrating. We only can conduct on each incubator 1 experiment per month. So we're very limited, and that's why the pilots are very important. We are moving now to our smart tray solution. We're doing our first experiment this month, and hopefully that will increase our experiment number, because then we can do an experiment on a per tray level, because each tray will get a different transmission than instead of a per incubator level. So we're very excited to increase the number of experiments going forward.
Okay, and then we've got a question just asking about cost estimates in South African rand. So will that, I mean, is it just a conversion from what you're expecting in terms of dollar terms, or will they be sort of a specific set price?
Yes, can someone please just tell me really quickly the conversion rate? I think it's roughly
We're roughly
15.
at about 14, 15.
Okay, well, anyways, we're going to charge the clients, like I said, for the added value. The CapEx investment for a 4,800 egg incubator, it would be roughly between $5,000 to $7,000, the upfront cost. So I guess that would be 5 times 14 or 15, maybe roughly 70,000 rand per incubator. In going to larger incubators of 25 or 50,000 eggs, it would cost more than this 5,000, but it wouldn't be exactly linear. So it'd be a little bit less prospectively. Hopefully that gives quite a understanding. According to our analysis, the ROI of our system will be a little bit less than a year. And we're talking about an industry that the ROI is usually roughly 7 years, if not more. Hopefully that answered the question.
I think so. And so just one more question. Have you encountered any negative public perception about the use of this type of technology?
Yes, first of all, we haven't received too much negative perception. There has been 2 types of perceptions that we've received. One was that we are playing God, or that we're doing genetic modification, but I can say that this isn't the case. This is something, like I said, it's very natural. We actually discovered this solution, our co-founder discovered this in empirical observation, because he had a farm in his backyard with a small chicken coop, and he noticed that there were more females than the 50-50, and it was due to an electrical pole outside that was transmitting a very specific frequency. And I can say that this frequency is within the human hearing range. We're not talking about sub or hypersonic frequencies. And the other negative perception that we've received is usually from vegans or very animal welfare strong people that say that, in their opinion, it's better to die age 1 than living a life in a cage. And I can say that this isn't the case, in my opinion, because first of all, there is a trend going towards free range, and there's a lot of animal welfare in the industry. But in addition, a lot of the solution that we can provide is actually for our integrations to lower the size of the breeding flocks and incubate less eggs to provide the same amount of females that we have today. So we'll actually have the opportunity to lower the amount of chickens in the industry, with also obviously decreasing the amount of males killed. So we believe that when everything is explained as is, there's only positive to come from this.
Thanks, Ben. So we just had another question coming in, just asking about what after-sales service the company offers.
Okay, so our service is a recurring service. At the end of the day, after the initial hardware installation, we are a software company. Our platform analyzes and controls the protocol that we have. So we'll be charging a recurring service for the use of our software. Like I said earlier, we're only charging for the added benefit of the of the industry. So we're only charging for any female chick above the natural 50%.
So I'm going to ask one more question before we move on, because I think that there's maybe some confusion about this, because we've had some questions about the effect of this treatment on the quality of eggs. So I'm assuming that eggs that are supposed to end up in supermarkets to be eaten, this technology does not apply to those eggs. This is only for eggs in hatcheries.
Exactly. This is only affecting the eggs of the fertilized eggs, only ones that are going to hatch into females. And with the research that we've done, once the male is turned into a female, he acts as a female for his whole life. It's phonetically, the only way you can even tell it's a male is only if you do DNA dissection or anything, and you can see that it has a male chromosome, but they act as females, and the eggs they lay are not affected by this at all. We've done many tests. Like I said, we've done 2 years of testing of 1,500 affected females, and all the eggs turned out the same, and the omelets were delicious.
Thanks, Ben. Just to everyone who's listening, and as I said, we will have another opportunity for questions and answers after we've listened to all the presentations. So if you do still have questions for Ben, just hold on to them until we've got our question and answer session at the end, because I do want to move on to our next presenter, and that is, sorry, thank you, Ben.
Thank you very much. I'll write down my email in the chat if anyone wants to contact me after this. Thank you very much.
So we're moving on to Benjamin van Dijk, and he's the International Business Development Manager for AgroTop. And this is a company that works globally to build turnkey livestock production projects that can span the entire value chain. Welcome, Benjamin. But we are going to first watch a video about AgroTop.
The wonderful creation of innovation. Like a conductor leading a symphony orchestra to a wonderful creation, AgroTop specializes of complex livestock projects. In order to turn your unique vision into reality, AgroTop combines a strong classical foundation with a track record of innovation. AgroTop believes in planning for results from the first note and throughout all project stages. We offer business development, in-house engineering, technology integration, and modern construction services. For a faster return on investment, we offer a transfer of operational know-how and results monitoring by experts. With over 60 years of experience, AgroTop's orchestra has performed thousands of projects in over 50 countries, in conditions ranging from freezing -40 degrees to scorching +50 Celsius. Our projects range in size from small farms to massive full vertical integrations containing all elements of the production chain. AgroTop remains at the forefront of technology, design, and scientific research. This means maximizing your feed conversions and minimizing wastage. Our dedicated team is the core of our success. Combining expert knowledge from different fields, we provide the full range of services for all stages and sizes of livestock projects. From the initial vision to your successful agrobusiness, AgroTop is your conductor and orchestra. Let's create together.
Okay.
Well, thanks for that introduction, Benjamin. And now over to you to tell us more about AgroTop and the technologies that you offer?
Okay, AgroTop is a turnkey company, specializes in planning, designing, and executing complete turnkey projects. We are a global company. We work in more than 50 countries in the world, mainly in poultry, piggery, and other livestock. Our services include construction, equipment of poultry houses and farms, hatcheries, feed mills, slaughterhouses, recycling plant, and rendering plants, protein recovery plants. At AgroTop, we understand the importance of agricultural value chain and its role in food industry. We commit our professional expertise and experience to meet sector's current challenges and ensure each project turns to be a success. We have long-term business relationship with our clients to implement innovative technology solutions that meets the sector's current demand and drive consistently positive results. What we are developing in globally, but especially in Africa, is the vertical integration model.
Sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I just want to check if there's a presentation that you want to share, or are you happy to just speak?
I have it in front of me. I would appreciate if you can share it.
Okay. All right, we'll share it. Thanks.
So by vertically integrating a project, the following important benefits are achieved. First of all, the economic surplus is gained from each stage of production. What it means is that we are actually controlling the whole value chain and every step of it. For example, in poultry, in broiler, there is the chick phase where you have the hatchery and the breeding farm. Later on, you have the production or the growing, the broiler farm. You have the processing plant with the protein recovery plant, which is a separate profit unit. This is where you make from all the non-edible protein, you make something which is good for fish meal or for other animal feeds. We are reducing the risk of raw materials because we are actually storing capacities for at least half a year. Traceability, the company has control of its own product chain. The quality, many elements supply chain are very hard to QA unless they are produced in-house. For example, the day-old chicks. I have some countries in Africa, not necessarily South Africa, that to get a good quality day-old chick is quite difficult. And if you want to have an industrial scale business and you need, let's say, 100,000 chicks per week, it becoming a big issue. So our vision is to deliver complete integrated solution in the form of turnkey projects to the agricultural sector around the world. And the mission is to provide livestock infrastructure of top international standards, helping our clients to achieve their target of running a fully optimized livestock project. Poultry and swine farm. We have built livestock project over 50 different countries in the world. I can add in 5 continents. We collaborate with the world leading equipment suppliers. We understand the nature of environmentally control that will maximize production within farm, keep diseases away, enhance biosecurity, and prevent environmental pollutions. A remark, if you want to finance a project in any African countries nowadays and you address one of the development banks, they will not allow you any cent if you are not standing for some environmental issues you have to do. There is a kind of environment standards that you have to stand for. Okay, to complete integrated solution is included planning and concept. We start our agricultural activities from initial research and planning phase. We collaborate with the customers to understand their goals for the project. With this in mind, we deploy our expertise to plan the project in the optimum way. We can prepare bankable feasibility, go, no-go plans, and full business plan. This is a very important service because without a good feasibility study, there is no chance of raising any fund for a project. Now, project erection and supervision. We determined with the clients the best and the most economic way to erect sheds and install the equipment. This might be an AgroTop field supervisor leading local team, or it may be a full team from AgroTop giving complete turnkey solution. Technical know-how management. One of the services is to offer the customer a full know-how transfer and management package to ensure the transfer of the project and to allow the customer learn how to use the facilities, how to manage the project. And later on, once the customer takes over, we can still give assistance remotely. We offer our design and engineering. Our in-house engineering team will design each facility to the customer's satisfaction. We design according to the Eurocode and local code. We will also comply with local insurance requirements and other regulations, sanitary, bird welfare, biosecurity, environmental, and so on. Financial solution, we offer financial solutions. It can be through the Israeli ECA, ASHRA. It could be from other agencies. It could be a kind of sovereign guarantee base. It could be equity debt base. We have all kinds of solutions along with our financiers. Our values, sustainability. We deliver sustainable service to our client, helping them to meet their yearly targets and steadily increase their production rate. Integration. Our services are fully integrated. They cut across the entire value chain of livestock production. We are involved in all aspects to ensure that each farm project turns out a success. Innovation. We are innovatively deliver our services to meet the sector's current demand and satisfy our client needs.
Thank you very much for that, Benjamin. So just a quick few questions from me. I'll see if there's anything that comes in from the listeners. So you said that you've done projects on 5 continents. Does that include Africa? Have you done projects on in Africa?
We have done projects in Africa, not in South Africa, unfortunately, although I have been visiting the country for the past 10 years or so. We have done projects in Nigeria, Angola, Equatorial Guinea. We are building, as we speak, a project in Ivory Coast, integrated project, which includes broiler farms, feed mill, and slaughtering processing plant, including water treatment and protein recovery. In South Africa, I see a great potential. There is a great need, especially in, let's say, more remote areas, in communities, some of them near old mines, which are maybe not in use. And there is a need to create opportunities to the community. Poultry integration, not only creating hundreds to thousands of jobs, depending on the size, but it also create, let's say, quality jobs of management, veterinarian services, technicians. And of course, you can involve women at all stages of level of jobs in the project. I saw yesterday a stunning fact that South Africa is in fact one of the bigger importers of poultry meat. I didn't know that. So it's actually throwing a hard currency, a good money on something you have no issue at all to raise locally with all the other benefits that I just mentioned.
And then just in terms of the scale of the facilities that you generally do and the projects that you get involved in, what would you say, what would be the minimum amount of chickens that should be housed in order for the facility to be viable, economically viable?
Yeah. First of all, I have to emphasize that for existing companies from the business, we can offer whatever they need. We can build from individual house to a fully integrated project. For integration, if you want to start from scratch, I would say that the entry ticket for something viable is about 6,000 metric ton per annum, 6 million kilograms live weight before processing. That will justify to have processing plant. I'm not sure you will need it in South Africa, but in some countries you need your own feed mill because otherwise you are not confident that you'll get feed on time. And if you want to look at a breeding operation, that will be valid, or let's say viable, from about 12,000 metric ton per annum.
Okay. And then, so just to get back to, I did speak in the introduction just a bit about how important biosecurity is becoming, especially in the poultry and in the pork industries. Can you just go into a bit of detail about how the grower houses that you build, what are some of the technologies and features that they have that specifically address biosecurity?
Yeah, I actually got from yesterday, I got the mail. So there are aspects for the related issues. There are different aspects. There are aspects of the building itself, like for example, the insulation, the ventilation, which will keep the litter in the right condition, the quality of material, for example, of the building. The spots of rust in the building can attract bacteria and risk and be a biosecurity breach. We use, for example, the roof insulation, we use antibacterial materials, hollow fiber. It's a DuPont product, which have also other benefits, but it's non-toxic, it's antibacterial, and so on. Okay, there are aspects of the farm design. For example, distances between the farm objects, separate roads, fences, biosecurity barriers, with disinfection facilities. So for example, for each farm, if you want to bring in the feed truck will go through some kind of bath to the wheels with disinfection material, and it will be sprayed from left, right, and up. So these are facilities that we are using on the farm design. And of course, there are a lot of things to do with humans. The main risk are the humans, the workers. They go home, they come back with diseases which are harmless to humans, but very, very risky to their chicks. So there is all kind of process, how to enter the farm, to take a shower, change the clothes, so on and so forth. So there are many aspects to biosecurity, and biosecurity is the main risk, in fact.
Yeah. Benjamin, thank you so much for that. There is a question of someone who just wants, I wonder if you would mind maybe sharing your email address in the chat function, because there is someone that has asked just for you to get in contact with them. They're interested in mobile houses. If there's any information you can send them.
Yeah, I will share my email ID and my WhatsApp number.
Okay, great. So if there is any more questions, we'll come back to that at the end of the session when we have the general Q&A. Thank you very much, Benjamin.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Presentation. So we're going to move on now to the next presentation. We've got Safir Rahman, who's the Vice President for Marketing at Celitron, and he will be discussing their new rendering technology for animal waste. And I hope, Safir, that you will also have time to say something about Celitron's new process to recover solid proteins and fat from edible insects, which can then be, of course, used in the manufacture of animal feeds. So welcome, Safir. And before we get to your presentation, I believe there's also a video.
Introducing the new rendering process by Celitron. The ISS Agri-Facility is a fully automated system used for animal byproduct rendering. The ISS Agri-Facility provides full medical sterilization. The animal carcasses, including poultry, fish, cow, pig, sheep, blood, feather, and bones, are blended and sterilized in the same pressure vessel. The outcome is a perfectly homogeneous, sterilized soup through the ISS treatment. The soup is then collected in the buffer. The soup is continuously treated and separated into solid oil and water in the decanter. The dryer reduces the moisture level of the solid from 40 to 50% to 5 to 10%. The solid end product is cooled down and collected and is ready for further use. The oil phase is transferred to the separator for improving the quality of the oil. The oil end product has a high oil content. The water from the decanter is safe for drainage into municipal sewage systems. With further treatment, it is also possible to extract collagen from the water. The advantages are faster return on investment as a result of higher quality meals, fat, and production of collagen, patented medical sterilization and shredding technology to prevent any possible contamination risk, no odor risk and lower energy consumption as a result of the new process that separates the liquids via decanter, local and immediate treatment of all animal byproducts generated at the slaughterhouse, small footprint.
Thank you, Denin, and good afternoon, everyone. For the video, my name is Safir. I represent Celitron. We are a company which is a part of a group. Our head office is in Tel Aviv, Israel, and the Celitron manufacturing facility is in Hungary, in Europe. So today, what I will talk about is rendering, which is as Ben said in the previous discussion, that it's not new technology, but what we have tried and we are trying to do is to do some changes to improve the efficiency, quality, and as well as the environmental impact of rendering. So the problem what we have in rendering right now is, first of all, it deals with highly contaminated waste. So any waste which is coming out from slaughterhouses, it can be feathers, skin, blood, internal body parts, whatever. If they are organic materials, so the longer they are untreated or the longer they are disposed without any process, the more risk of contamination is there. And this risk is also involved when you are transporting these waste from one place to another. For example, from a slaughterhouse to a rendering facility. Now, if you go to the rendering facility itself, the major problem or challenges what people face in rendering facilities are the environmental impact of the facility. It has a, since we all can imagine, when you process organic or waste material or meat, it has a big odor concern. So the environment or people living close to rendering facility has a lot of problems, and there are lots of reports and documents which suggest that more and more people are now trying to take rendering out of a social or living area. Another big issue with the current rendering facility is that the quality itself of the material what we get after the rendering. So like, for example, the material like bloods or feathers from chicken, the output what we get from this rendering process is not very quality, and then hence the whole process of rendering is not commercially viable to do for this kind of material. So there are lots of challenges for the current or rendering processes, and what we do in Celitron is try to handle all these challenges what we have identified with our solutions. So we provide solution for local treatment of the waste from slaughterhouses. That means you can treat the waste fresh. When you process the meat within the meat processing facility or within the slaughterhouse facility, you can have your own rendering facility. This is possible because we have used our patented technology of shredding and sterilization, which we have expertise from last 15 years in pharmaceutical and medical industry. And this technology we have tried to implement in the rendering industry. This results in a very high quality of output, like the protein and the fat. So we have tried, since our system is more or less closed system, so there is no open treatment of any material during the process. Hence, we can have a very good control over odor. And our system is far, far more environmental friendly compared to the traditional rendering process. And there are other advantages. It's very compact, it can be scalable, it has low consumption, faster process. So this, we can have a lot of details. Now for Celitron, as I said, though Celitron factory itself is in Hungary, it is a part of a group, BATM, which is having business in medical, in IT, in pharmaceutical. We have headquarters in Tel Aviv. So the rendering or the ISS agri system is produced in Hungary, and we have Celitron itself is coming from medical industry, as I said in the beginning, and we have a very strong presence in medical sector, in sterilization, in treatment of biomedical waste. So we are coming from waste industry, and the most rigorous waste industry, the most regulated waste industry, which is the medical waste and the pharmaceutical waste. So we have a very strong background in industry, in waste management industry. Since we are coming from medical industry, we have a strong compliance with international standards, with the European standards, because the facility is in Europe itself. Now we are present in medical and pharmaceutical sector. We are present in more than 70 countries by now. For the agri systems, what we are doing, it is we have started this venture 3 years back, approximately, with all the testings, all the prototypes and everything. So now we are fully prepared to go into the market, and we are already having some installations in the market, and we see a lot of good demand for this kind of system. As I said, we are coming from medical industry, so So we have medical segment in our company, pharmaceutical segment, and the agriculture segment. Now for agricultural rendering system, what we do, as Ben said, rendering, and as I also said in the beginning, rendering is nothing new. There is rendering facilities all over the world, different methods they use. What we have changed is to integrated our technology, which we call ISS, integrated sterilizer and shredder system, which gives the advantage to process all kind of material in one process, because in traditional rendering you have to have different kind of systems to process different kind of materials. Like for feathers you have different system, for blood you have different system, for offal or other things you have different systems. We have integrated this whole process in one, and this makes our system very compact and very efficient. This process will start when you put all the biomedical waste, all the waste coming out from slaughterhouses in the reactor, what we call ISS. This is a medical grade treatment system where you sterilize and shred. You can imagine this system as like your home blender. You put materials, you put water, blend it, and you get a soup or juice. So this, in very common terms, you can imagine the system as a blender, but it has controlled process. After the process, you get a soup, which is sterilized and very finely and homogeneously mixed material. From this soup, then you take it to a decanting machine. This system is basically separating the solid and the liquid. So you separate the protein part and the liquid part, which consists of basically the fat and the oil and the water. The solid which comes from the decanter, it's a solid, but it has some amount of moisture. So then this solid goes to a dryer. This dries up the material, and you get the final protein. It's a pure protein with 5% maximum of the moisture. It's a very high. If you compare with any traditional rendering system, then it's very good quality protein you get. You have very low amount of ash in this solid, because we don't burn the material or the waste. And the same goes to the fat, what you get a very high quality fat after you separate the butter and the fat from the with the separator system. So these processes are very common and general, but because of our integrated system, the quality of the output is very high. Then you get the collection of this, and you get finally from unused material, raw material, to a final fat and protein. So you have a lot of advantage of using this kind of system, because first of all, this system is very fast. In traditional rendering, you need at least couple of hours to process the material, to digest the material. The digestibility is very long. In our system, it is less than an hour. So you can imagine you already have increased your productivity from 4 hours to 1 hour. It's having no environmental impact, because we are coming from medical industry, so we have all the environmental clearances and certifications. We have no odor, almost no odor in the material or in the processing, within the processing facility. And this makes a lot of difference, especially when globally the trend is that you have to move from non-environmental friendly solution to environmental friendly solutions. So we are seeing a lot of interest in this, and if you have any question or people have any question, I will be happy to answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you for the presentation, Sophia. It's definitely very interesting. So just we are sort of running out of time a bit, but there is just one question that I had, Sophia, and that was so does the process generate any additional waste, or is the result zero waste?
The waste after the process, usually you will get water, which usually you can have a treatment. Other than that, you don't have any waste. So you will have wastewater and nothing else.
And the quality of that wastewater, will it be, I mean, is it the quality good enough to use for irrigation, for example, or will it need a treatment?
It has, yes, you can use that. That is a very good question. First of all, this water, even though you do the whole process, there is some amount of protein which goes into the water, very small amount. So this water is actually very good for irrigation if you use it in general. But usually you can also, in any rendering facility, you have to have a water treatment facility. If you want to recycle this water, you can have a very normal wastewater treatment facility, and you can recycle the water to the plant again.
I see someone is asking if this water could be used in a hydroponic system, so in a closed production system.
Yes, but not all of them.
Okay.
So you can have at least 50 to 60% water recovery.
Okay. I hope that we have time just to come back, because I do still want you to just quickly talk about your systems for producing meal from edible insects, but I'm going to move on now, just because we are running out of time a bit. So thank you very much for that, Safir, and we'll get back to questions after the final presentation.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we are at our final presentation for today. This is by Yahir Landesman, who's the CEO for Poultrix. And this company has designed an easy-to-use technology that enables broiler and layer farmers to manage every aspect of their farm in real time, even remotely. Yair, welcome and thank you for joining us.
Welcome and thank you for inviting us. Okay,
we are going to start with your company video, and then right after that you can go into your presentation.
Poultrix is an automated technological solution focused on organizing information and documentation of production, starting from the first stage in the chain of production, parent flocks, and following through to the sale of meat products and/or table eggs. Poultrix manages poultry, breeder, layer, and turkey farms, and can be used both by large integrations or smaller individual farms. Information is received from AgroLogic controllers or controllers from other companies and from all complementary systems in the organization. In order to significantly improve the efficiency and profitability of the organizations, advanced technology is needed to gather large amounts of information from various production means spread out over large areas. Automatic data collection allows for more precise and reliable information, which can be used for analyzing reports. Poultrix enables the gathering of data in real time, automatically and/or manually. Data gathered from end systems can be used to alert the system, which enables the manager and farmer to follow and supervise activity at any given moment. Poultrix BI allows you, the manager and farmer, to analyze the data using various segmentation methods, graphs, and dynamic reports, thus making growth more efficient and economical. Poultrix enables farmers and managers to use its software from any internet-connected device from anywhere in the world. Poultrix Technology is easy and simple. It allows you, managers and farmers, to run your organization and farms in the best, most professional, and economical manner. Using advanced BI analysis, you will be able to immediately improve your growth cycle. Poultrix. Improve your profits.
Okay, hello to all of you. Thank you for inviting us. Poultrix is a company which provide complete manage on the production chain. Poultrix is a company which give a real-time data management and analytics platform for smart, efficient, and transparent poultry farming. Poultrix is a robust remote integration capability, real-time data collection, automatically detect and alerts, full management, machine learning, input from the field, feedback into the platform, continuous learning, and etc. This is quick look about the control of Poultrix on the production chain since the pullet rearing pullets started chicks. So this is about a domain of Poultrix on all the field of broiler, breeder, and table eggs. I just show you some. This is some of our screenshots just to see. So this is a screenshot. It's a dashboard. In the dashboard, we analyze the planning. We analyze the growth itself. We predict, and we give all the data the managers and the area managers need in order to control on the growth and make the growth and the data collection much more accurate and give some profit to the organization. We'll try to make efficiency much higher in every part of the growth. This is the part of the grower that when he enter data or we get the data from the controllers, so the growers see immediately the alerts. He gets also alerts to his phone, and he can act and he can react to the alerts immediately and save mortality, changing the food recipe, etc. This is how we control about the food supply. We detect in every supply the results of the type of the feed which arrived, and then we are measure it according to the standard tables. We have all the standard tables which exist for every kind of growth. It's all the time updating. Here we have some reports that we get from slaughtering. Just so you some, this is a summary cycle that we analyze. This is only an example of a view of a cycle summary, but we also analyze it behind it and give some insight to the growers. As you see, we are based on the history and based on the categories that we are invented by ourselves in order to predict the weight, in order to find out which is the best recipe for towards the age of the chicks or the birds. And I believe that we cover all the data, all the chain, the production chain. Poultrix is aiming to give to the farmers and the integration the best way to organize, to analyze, and to most important things to organize the data in the right way, which will be able to analyze it later on or during the growth. And I'm emphasize that point because from my experience, and I have a lot of experience, today I'm a CTO, but I used to work in each part of the chain. as a data managing, in the data managing system, IoT, no IoT, the IT departments, and I cross all these parts of sections which belong to poultry field. And I believe that the main value of poultry, it's that we realize how to collect the data and how to create trust in our growers, that by taking care of the data every day, they will give a real benefit in the growth. And we prove that in many farms that we work with, that they really achieve, compare with the time that they didn't work with Poultrix, they achieve a great amount of efficiency, great efficiency, and that's why nobody thinking about leaving Poultrix. Poultrix is not only data collection, it's also kind of growers educating. We educate them, and as I said, and this is the main important thing, because all of us knows that without data, you cannot do anything. And we are succeeded to find the solution to collecting the data. On these days, not these days, let's say in the last 2 years, we are connecting where we can, we connecting the farms to the controllers and to other sensors or to the feed mill, or whenever we can. We have a special API web services which we are easily connect to any device or any software or anything around the poultry's growth, and immediately show it in our program, in our platform, and on the right places which give the benefit. So Poultrix, as I said, built one more thing. Poultrix was primarily built for the farmer needs. We started Poultrix from the farmer needs. That's why we believe that we have advantage on that part, because it's the main important stuff. Getting the right data on the right time, every day, every hour, every minute. If you have any questions, I will happy to answer.
Thank you for that, Yair. So would you just mind stop sharing your screen so we can get the videos back up? Brilliant. Thank you so much for that. So we had one question just asking how you measure the return on investment for the system.
How do we manage the return?
How do you measure return on investment?
What do you mean, like how we measure? We measure.
So how do you measure value added by the system?
Okay. This is. It could be. You know, it's long. I'll do it shortly. First of all, let's start from the beginning by organizing the data. Today, everybody collected by Excel or some kind of papers. As soon as we can show for the integration or even for the farmer itself, we show them the data collecting every day, organized, like, we keep the connection between the breeding, hatchery, and broiler growth until the food processing. So since we just made the connection, it's already organized collection data and reacting immediately to alerts. It's already give you some advantage, and you immediately can take care of the birds and save money of losing birds or things like that. That's first of all. Also, you can, of course, not use many people according to control on the. I mean the software, the platform saving cost by salaries or things like that. That's first of all. Second, about the feed. We are developed kind of an algorithm. We tracking the feed. We track the feed since it's arrived from the feed mill, and we give to them integration, or to the farmer creating a feed plan in advance, and they have to work according the feed plan. And when the feed plan, when we see the results of the feed plan, of the recipe we are planned in advance, we immediately give alerts. You should go with a different feed plan or continue with that feed plan by analyze the grow rate, the FCR, the water drinking, everything. Of course, we take care. We looking also with one eye on the climate. And we see if the climate have any effects which get into the feed effect on the growth. So by checking and by letting the users know where they stand with the developing of the bird or the chick, I believe we save also money in the we save a cost also by getting more, let's say, better FCR, and also because we organize that in a very special way, where we prevent from the feed mill sending, and it's happening, sending wrong shipments or wrong type of feed for the age that it's target to. And of course, as far as we see, we are also, let's say, by organizing and also by reacting to the problems and to the alerts we give, we believe we save and we're more efficient. Also, we've developed few things more now in order to prove our efficiency to the people to the users and to the field, to the broiler field, that it's really help and saving money. So
thanks. So Yair, I also just want to find out about the data entry. How much of that needs to be entered manually by the farmer, and how much of it is determined automatically by sensors and automatically imported into the software?
We have, I believe, maybe the people from the field knows that there is, let's say, at least one thing that we have to enter at the moment manually. It's the mortality. Nobody wins that case. Okay, so all the others parameters which indicate the quality of the growth, the efficiency, and etc., could be entered automatically from the sensors or from the controllers. I believe that most of the barns today has a controller, so we are already connected to most of the controllers company in the world. We know them, we talk with them, and they are cooperate with us, and there's no problem to connect them. But, and I have to say it, in many places, some places does not have controller, and some places have a controllers which not able to send data. So at the beginning, we built the system that the users, let's say the majority of the data providers will have very easy and smart and let's say they will be very convenient to enter in the data. So we've developed the UI and we are improved the UX. I believe you know what I mean, in a way that our special customers will be able to use it very quickly, understand it very well, and also on the mobile, on the tablet, on any device. So they really wake up in the morning, or I don't know, whenever they want to enter data, they like to do it because it's very, very comfortable. Okay, so we never lose, we never hear about, oh, it's difficult, or, you know, we improve it, special for the farmers, because we knew this is the majority of the data production, the data producers. So yeah, so it comes with everywhere, the daily data, the shipments of the shipments to the slaughtering, and etc.
Okay, we quickly have two questions. Sapiso asks if it's possible to use this technology then for a small backyard farmer. And this sort of leads on to what you've just been describing, is that the system can be applied to smaller operations that are not necessarily already online.
You mean Poultrix can be good for small farms? That's what you ask?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Poultrix is a modular system. We can adjust Poultrix to one farm, one barn, one user, and it will get by after the implementation, it will get the same benefit that the integration get. It's not matter the size. We have for each size of, let's say, of Poultrix user, for each size we have the special model, you know, that will give him the special needs, the special thing that he needs to, you know, to run his farm. So let's say.
And then there was another question about the safety of the system. So how safe is the data, and who does the data that's entered, who does that belong to?
The data is always belong to the customer. It's never Poultrix data. Poultrix is only the managing the growth, managing the platform. The platform belongs to Poultrix, but the data belongs to the customer, always. We ensure the data in the highest, let's say, secure technology which exists today in the market. We don't compromise with that field. Okay, so no one needs to worry about it. We never had any problem with that. We are really keep the data very, very safe. We back up the data, and we can give the data anytime the customer wants, he can get the data. So I probably answer your question.
Yep. And then there was the last question about the cost of using the platform.
The cost, okay. The cost is we have a cost for it's, you know, it's a kind we are using a PaaS or SaaS, whatever you call it, as a service. Poultrix is a service. It's a platform. We sell the license for a user or for a farm. It depends what size of the organization. If it's only a farmer, which have only one farm, etc. So it's a different price. Of course, it will be different than integration with 1,000 farms, for example. So it's depending. Basically, we charge for a small fee for implementation. We do all the implementation by ourselves. Okay. The farmer only needs to give us the mapping of his farm, how many barns, how many, etc. We give him the questions. We are fill the customer in the platform, and in the day we finish, we send him a link. He get inside, and he can start working and see the results. So this is basically how we work. And now we charge on a monthly subscription on a monthly basis, a payment on a monthly basis. And the customers, they can always try or work with the system for 1, 2, 3 months, and then they can decide if they want to continue or they can quit, whatever. We not force anyone to use it. We believe that, I mean, the amount is reasonable for a farmer, and you really get more profit than you feel the expense on Poultrix.
And then one more question. Somebody asked if this technology is also applicable to layer farms, so for egg producers.
Of course, of course. We have more. I just said what model. I just will say what models we have. We have a breeder. We have a broiler, rearing pullets, of course, and we have table eggs. Also, and also we have turkey. All this level also for turkey. Turkey, let's say a farm turkey and a breeder turkey, and etc. Of course, all these kind of modules we are using, and we can give. I mean, we sell the license for according the demand. If somebody working only with the layers, they will get only the layers. If you work with all these kind of modules, so we are selling all these kind of modules. So the price is in between, you know, depend. But it's really reasonable and very, very effective.
Thank you very much, Shahir. So I just want to open up the floor for so if anybody's got any questions, and this is an open session that's for any of the presenters, you do now have an opportunity. We are sort of running out of time, but we'll allow just a couple of minutes to see if any questions come through. Then Charmaine, I see she's back. She will also share all of the presentations as well as the contact details for the presenters for everybody who registered for the webinar. So you will have an opportunity to later follow up with the presenters if you've got any additional questions, and to again go look at those presentations. And yes, thanks Marianne Lombard for reminding me. So while we wait to see if any other questions come in, Safir, I did ask if we can just quickly at the end of the session just come back to you just to hear a bit more about the work that you're doing in terms of the edible insect rendering.
Thank you for giving me another few minutes. Basically, this is going to help farmers, especially the poultry farmers, to have some additional income benefits. Growing insects is very easy. They require very less amount of space and utility and resources. So even poultry farmers can have a small place where they can grow a larvas, which through our system, you can process and get the meal, which can be fish meal, or you can even, depending on country's regulation, you can use it for the chicken feed also. So feed meal. And larvas are growing source of protein all over the world. So we all know that the dependency of ours in protein from animals like chicken or any beefs or other kind of animals is high, and we have to find an alternate source for this kind of protein source. So yes, and as I said, our system is scalable. So even in a small farm, you can have your own insect growing facility where you can grow insect, and in the same time you process insect and get feed for the your chickens or other fish meals.
Thanks for that very quick introduction to that system. And then again, if anybody's got more questions about that, then they're also very welcome, I'm sure, to contact you and to ask about that. We are now well and truly over time, and I haven't seen any questions coming in right now. So I'm sure there will be interactions later with the speaker. So from my side, thank you again to all the presenters. That was really interesting and fascinating, and I learned a lot about new technologies that can, as I said at the beginning, help to address some of those present challenges that farmers in the poultry sector do face. Charmaine and Motti, thank you again for involving Farmers Weekly in this and for allowing me to present. And then if you just want to say a final word, then we can finish.
Just like to thank our partners, panelists, participants. I hope you enjoyed it, learned lots of new stuff, and be helpful to you. I will share the presentations with all of you and the presenters' contact details, and we look forward to hosting you soon on another webinar. Thank you.